So what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about the mind, maybe. What about the mind?
What is a man?
What is the mind?
Yeah.
It's either your friend or your enemy. Depends. Depends how you relate to your mind or to the mind. Because is it yours? I don't know. And
Is your life like a consequence of your mind?
is your life a consequence of your mind? Yes. Because your mind tells you your deepest, darkest secrets and desires. And it wants you to act on that, on those thoughts and those feelings. Your mind is associated to your thoughts and your feelings, and it knows what they are, and it will push you to do what it wants you to do, which is basically do its bidding, so that the mind is in control of your actions and not the other way around. That's what fear is, that's what projections are, and that's where a lot of our feelings come from. Is the mind basically guiding you because it knows your weaknesses and it knows how to trigger you so that you act on what it wants. And in the mind is also where the devil lies. The devil. Uh, it's always hiding in the bushes. The devil's always wanting you to slip so it gets more power and more control. The devil is the thing that gnaws at you when it's making you obsessed with something, with an idea, with craving. Crave something. Um, when it has to do with negative feelings, with judgment, and with
House?
feelings such as anger. Uh, what'd you say?
Negative thoughts?
Come on.
Pensamientos negativos.
Yeah, negative thinking, negative feeling. And the way that it works is through your desires. It's through your attachments. It's through your addictions, through your habits. Because it knows how to get you to do something. And I'm not talking about like a physical devil, even though that might be out there. The physical devil might be out there in some cave or underground or in hell. But there's spiritual demons, spiritual devil, and mental devil. And that's the devil I'm referring to. The mental one that's always in the bushes. The mental one that knows like the mind.
Like that little voice that say to you like you can do it.
Yeah, the
You're
little voice.
trash.
The little voice in your head that's yeah, exactly. You're trash. Yeah, it tells you you're trash, you're not good enough. That can be considered the devil. Uh, it's just another word for that negative mind, that negative aspect of your mind. And there's a lot of complexities when it comes to this topic. There's a lot of different angles that we can look at it from, like demon possession and uh, substance abuse, right? All of it's related. It's really just the dark side of
The
life,
mind.
the dark side of the mind. Yeah. And that is what actually gets you to do bad things, say bad things, to be aggressive, uh, to cause pain unto others, to cause suffering unto others. And the thing is, this is something that we carry with us. every day. If we are not looking out for it, and if we are not attentive and careful with how we manifest what's in our minds, how we manifest what we're feeling, how we manifest what we think about the future, the judgment we deal upon people, the judgment we deal upon ourselves. If we are not careful with those things, then evil wins. The devil is in control. The negative aspects of the mind take root and sprout and blossom into pain and suffering to yourself and to other people. So it's very important to be attentive to what's going on in the mind. And I used to have this discussion with a friend, my friend Juan. He used to tell me one of the ways that he looks for that is to question himself. What's going on? What's going on in the mind? What is the mind projecting? What is the mind thinking? What is the mind triggering? Looking at your behavior and realizing what's going on in the mind.
I think a good way too is like if you write everything.
If
Like,
you write everything, like writing on a notebook,
yeah, if you write like even if it's good or if it's bad, but what your mind is telling you every day.
yeah, that's a good way to put it on. Putting things on paper is a good way to see what's actually going on instead of just thinking about it.
Yeah, because in your
Yeah.
mind it's like over and over again, over and over again. Maybe one day goes and maybe 1 week later come back and it's just the same.
Yeah, good avenue. I think writing things down is a good way to see what's going on. And that's what meditation is. Meditation is constantly observing what's happening, constantly observing instead of falling into the thought process or the train of thought. Rather, see the train of thought from outside to inside. And when you do that long enough, you start to notice patterns. You start to notice how you think all day. Because most people think of their mind as themselves, like their personality, their characteristics. This is who I am, right? Which I think it doesn't give them enough credit for changing their situations. You're not an angry person. You have angry thoughts and you have angry feelings that are tied to probably some sort of trauma, but those things can heal and those things can change, and you can affect over a long period of time by noticing and short-circuiting that process. So you don't have to be an angry person. You don't have to be a judgmental person. You don't have to be any of those things. Sure, there's like some DNA aspect to how we conduct ourselves, but constantly auditing yourself by observing and by changing, creating that difference of substituting those negative things, negative thoughts with positive thoughts. That's something you can do in the world. And doing that is the process of healing and changing from having a negative mind to a positive one.
And that's how you can change any situation that you have in your life. No, like if you have, for example, X situation, and if you have positive or negative thoughts, you can change like the way that you go through that. No, can be the same situation, but if your mind can change everything.
Yeah, the mind, yes, can change everything. You're not tied to who you are. You're not tied to who you are today. You can change by changing the mind. Say hello to the neighbors. And it doesn't mean you take control of your life. What it means is you understand the mind and you understand the process. And by understanding those things, then you can transform your life from maybe thinking extremely negative all the time to having positive thoughts. Because what goes on in the mind is what your experience in life becomes. Guess what? If you're having negative thoughts all the time, you're not having a good time in life. You may think to yourself, oh, I'm fine and I'm perfect and the world needs to change. Well, it's you who has to change. So take notice of that. Be a little more kind to yourself and others. And watch out, because the devil's always in the bushes. Take care.